What's up, everybody? This is Podcast Gameoverse episode 171 for Thursday, February 15, 2024. I am Wasabi Ice Cream, joined as always by Rick. What's up?
Yo, what's up, everybody? It's Rick. I'm here, you're here. We're all here to talk about video games. I played quite a few games this week. Past 2 weeks, actually, because, I had to take a break last week. And you just did the demo derby, the latest Steam demo derby, so you got a lot to talk about. So let's start with that, man. Like, anything that stands out you want to talk about, whether good, bad, somewhere in between.
Yeah, there was a lot of good shit. So for everyone who doesn't know, I do a thing called Demo Derby. It's got to be like 4 times a month now, or four times a month. Be crazy. 4 times a year now, because Steam's been doing these things like quarterly almost. It seems like so. Every time Steam does a Next Fest, I just spend 12 hours and just do a marathon of a bunch of demos. And there was a bunch of interesting stuff. There was a lot of interesting stuff this time around. Stuff like Harold Halibut was on there. You know, there was that like claymation game that we've been looking at for years.
Oh yeah, I forgot that existed. Yeah,
that was on there. Yeah, there was a lot of good stuff on there. There's only like 2 games I want to just spend a good amount of time highlighting here. Not that there was only 2 that I enjoyed. There were quite a few I enjoyed, but I don't want to spend, you can go to
but these 2 are like highlights that you want to like talk about.
Yeah. I've everything's archived on YouTube, so go to Gameoverse.com/YouTube. And I actually did a 2-parter this time. So I did a 12-hour stream where I looked at as many as I could within that 12 hours. And then I went back and was like, man, there's still a lot that I haven't looked at. So I did another like 4 hours just looking at the stuff that I didn't get a chance to look at the first go around. And there's 2 games in particular that everything's time-stamped, everything's labeled. Which ones I super enjoyed are labeled in there, so you can just go through the timestamps and look at those if you want, or you can just skip through the whole thing. Everything's on there. However, there's 2 games that kind of are the reason why I do this, because I always find some gems that I would just never expect. I would never have found otherwise unless I was doing this. One of those is called, it's something Chinese. It's some Chinese characters and then remix.
Okay.
I'll paste the title in the chat so that anyone just watching the archive can just copy and paste it. But it's a rhythm game, vampire survivors like.
Okay.
Right? Now you're saying that you're like, okay, it's a rhythm game, but it's also your power-ups are also instruments that get added to the soundtrack when you select them, and they're also your powers.
So it's got that like auto attack thing to it, but the music, it's in time with the music. Is that it?
It's in time with the music. It's in time with the music, but it also is the music. So
that's cool.
The power-ups are like extra like band members. So there'll be like a drummer, and when you pick the drummer, it adds a drum track to the soundtrack.
I like that.
You pick the
that's
singer,
interesting.
Yeah, and it adds like a vocal layer, and you pick like the guitarist and it adds a guitar. There's like a cello guy. There's like a bassist. There's a keyboardist. And every time you pick one, it adds another layer to the audio, the music that's playing. Well, I thought it was really fucking cool.
That is cool. I dig that. Yeah.
And then in the demo, there were only two characters. You could pick like a main character, and I think the main character not only has their own movement tech, but also is like the foundational soundtrack part. So the first guy I picked was like a cat guy who controlled more like a Pac-Man almost. Like you hit a direction on the controller and he just moves in that direction. And then if you hit other directions on the beat, you do that 4 times and it does like a powerful like burst attack.
Okay.
And then there's another like a frog character who controls more like Crypt of the Necrodancer. So you're actually moving every time you hit the direction. You're moving in that direction, and you just stop. You know, and it's like
That's
straight
really
up
cool.
Necrodancer. It was really fucking cool, and there's not a lick of English in this game. So it was difficult in trying to figure out what the fuck was going on. But then I realized, because I didn't even know what the fuck it was. I was just like, it just looked, I just thought it was a rhythm game. And so I was like, oh, I like rhythm games. I'll load this up. And then you realize, oh, it's a fucking Survivors. And then not only that, but it's fucking like, all the instruments are the power ups. It was just really cool. It was really cool once I like discovered that. My mind getting blown as I played this demo. So yeah,
That's super cool. Yeah.
Yeah, it was really fucking cool. I don't know how you can find it other than just typing in. I'm gonna paste it in the chat here, but other than typing that into Steam, I don't know how you're gonna find it. So, good luck.
I'll look into it, man. Yeah, that sounds super awesome. Like anything else that stands out that you want to talk about?
So, I want to stress again that there's a bunch of games in here that stand out. So, but I just don't want to spend hours talking about all of them because first of all, I give my thoughts as I play them in the thing. So it's better if you go to it's better if you just go to the actual stream archive and get my thoughts on them there.
Yeah, everyone go to the stream archive. Just listen, and you can figure out from there like what's worth checking out if you got the time, or just have it run in the background or something.
Yeah. And okay, so there's another one called Islands of Insight, which this one's actually out now.
Okay.
It came out like the day after I looked at it. Islands of Insight. This fucking game, dude.
Yeah.
Is an MMO The Witness, basically.
Okay.
It's an MMO.
How does that work?
It's an MMO puzzle game. How does it work? I don't know how it works. But it's literally it's an MMO. You build a character and go into a server where there are other players and other characters, and it's a shared world, open world puzzle solving game.
That's insane.
They list in the description on Steam, they list that there's over 10,000 puzzles. And
what the fuck?
There's a skill tree.
A skill tree? What does a skill tree do?
There's a skill tree. Well, one of the first skills, the first skill is a double jump, so you can jump and shit. But it's literally just like it's a world. There's just nothing but a bunch of different puzzles in it. And dude, I'm telling you, I would have bought this game right now with the only issue with it, and it seemed to have run into the main game as well, like the actual full release, is that I was playing the demo and I noticed, the servers are bad. The servers are bad.
Oh no.
There's just a ton of like lag and shit, and I was like, oh, I hope by the time this game comes out, because you could see that it was coming out in like 1 or 2 days, and I was like, oh, I hope they have these like server issues fixed. And then if you go to Steam reviews now that it's out, you can see that one of the biggest issues is like server issues. So
such a bummer, especially since like it's an indie game, so it's a small team handling it. So
Yeah,
they probably don't have like a lot on the back end to like handle these server issues, or if they do,
but
it's gonna take a while.
it's just such a fucking cool idea, man. Like the
It
idea
is. It's a
that
really neat idea. Yeah.
you just have like an online puzzle solving game, and then people can. There didn't seem to be any reason for it to be online. I will say that because I tried to. Just, it didn't seem like there was a chat. It didn't seem like you could really interact with other players, but they were there. You could see them. So that was the other thing, is that I don't know why it's an online game,
Yeah.
but if it does what I hope it does, which is there's these big grand scale puzzles and the whole server can kind of team up to try to solve these puzzles, that would be really fucking cool.
Yeah. That would
But
be really cool.
it didn't seem like, at least in the small section I played, it didn't seem like you could really interact with anyone. You could see people when they're running around and doing their own thing. But I tried the chat and was like, "Hey, does anyone know how to solve this puzzle?" But there was no chat. It didn't seem like there was any chat or anything. So I don't. That was kind of a bummer. I don't know. I just don't know. I don't know yet. But it was enough to where I was like, I'm gonna buy this fucking game
Yeah.
as soon as I stop, and then but not being able to, yeah,
Yeah. No, that's a huge bummer. Like that'd be a deal breaker for me for sure.
yeah,
Oh, that sucks. It sounds cool though. Hopefully they get this stuff ironed out so that way, like, they can make the game that this amazing sounding game. Like that's such a cool concept. Like the idea that like there's all these puzzles here and you just go out, explore, discover them, solve them. Like that's really neat. I like that a lot.
yeah. Um, so yeah, those two games are probably the best example of why I like to do this Next Fest thing, just because, um, a I feel like there's a lot of bigger channels out there that do similar stuff, but they only look at the big fucking. Dude, I looked at the big games and they're all fucking. It really goes to show you just um, what people are what people want out of the PC gaming crowd wants, I guess.
Yeah.
Just like the same fucking, it's always like RTS games and fucking Homeworld 3 was on there, and then a shitload of extraction shooters, but now they're like extraction dungeon crawlers. Shitloads of those. And then when you go on when you watch on any bigger channel look at these games, that's the shit they're looking at. It's just the big fucking games, the ones that everyone is already looking at. No one's looking at. I will give Kind of Funny credit, because Kind of Funny did look at Islands of Insight. However, they got paid to look at it. It was a sponsored
Yeah.
thing. Like they didn't look at this on their own accord. Like the publishers, the guys that made the game paid them to look at it. Otherwise, no one would give a fuck. So
It's a huge bummer. Like especially when the problem is that everybody chasing trends and people already having these trends established, like it makes it harder for those cooler ideas to come out. Remember when like battle royale games like a new thing, you remember? And like,
yeah,
PUBG came out, shook everything up. It makes it now that with the success of that, it's gonna make it harder for that moment to happen again. Someone to come out with this like maybe not new genre or something, but like a genre that's already been done, but like a good twist on it, and really shake things up right now if everyone's just going for the same thing. I mean, you
yeah,
can make the argument that like we've always had a trend of like a certain game genre or game type, and it just takes like that one huge success to like kind of move the needle a little bit. But I don't know.
yeah,
I feel like now it's even harder because with stuff like Twitch, these people who should be bringing attention to these games, they're just following the same trends too to stay relevant. I don't know. Maybe I'm talking out my ass here, but
No, that's not.
that is a
That's
huge
not. You're
bummer.
not wrong, man. And
Yeah, it's a huge bummer because like I like seeing cool shit, but like nobody's talking about it. And I know someone could say like, why don't you go look for the cool shit? It's like I'd love to, but not everyone has like the time. Like I just mentioned earlier, I'm like I have a full-time job, I have a kid. I wish I could spend like 12 hours like just going through Next Fest, just downloading random shit and trying it out. I really wish I could. And a lot of people are in the same situation. Don't have the time to like sort through all these games, and they look for like influencers or streamers to like find that shit for them.
yeah. So
Yeah,
I have the time, but
yeah, that's good.
we don't have the audience. So
Yeah,
I want to spread this good. There's a shitload of good stuff that we looked at, man, and
yeah.
I just want to be able to spread. One of the like developers hit me up and was like, "Wow, you called this thing Demo Derby, but you didn't take a look at Crash Course Demolition Derby,
Mhm.
which was a game he made, uh, or was
That's so
working on."
cool. That's
So
so cool.
in part two, I went back and I looked at that game and was like, yeah, it's pretty, it's not perfect. I do criticize it a little bit, do my part here to kind of do some constructive criticism, but that's what I like. I like sometimes I do this and kind of interact with developers directly who see the shit. Like a lot of times I like the game would crash or something, and
Yeah.
a dev hit me up and was like, "Hey, that's not supposed to happen. Can you send me a crash log?" And then
Oh
yeah, I sent him a
wow, that's
crash
cool.
log. Yeah. So
See, that's
um
really cool.
yeah. So I don't know. I like doing this just because it just you just find some gems this way, man. It gets me more excited than the AAA shit that comes out. It's always just copy paste of shit you already
Mhm.
seen. And yeah, so yeah, I advise people if you wanna see some cool shit, just go to gameoverse.com/YouTube. I've got 16 hours of it's all time stamped, all you can skip around, and my favorite stuff I labeled in there so you can just look at the stuff that I really, really liked. And yeah, just go through there and just find some new shit. Because there's a lot of good stuff in there. So
Yeah, that's why I like the demo derby stuff too, because like you always come back with like this cool shit to check out. And Next Fest alone is just super cool because there's always cool shit there to look at, even though not a lot of people are looking for it. And stuff that I've been excited for like show up in those Next Fest too, like that El Paso Elsewhere was one that was like a
yeah,
huge
yeah.
highlight for me. Like what, two Next Fests ago? Like that's a game I've been following forever, and to see like a playable demo for, got me super excited.
Yeah, and that was another one I had no idea about until I played it. I was like, holy
Yeah,
shit.
yeah. See, I love stuff like that. So those are some of the highlights. I'll check out the archive, probably skim through it, let it play in the background while I do some shit, and see if there's
Yeah.
anything interesting like I would be into. I can probably give something like some more time than you were able to, because you only spend so much time, with each game. Like,
Yeah, unless I want to be there like fucking all day.
yeah, yeah,
But
you don't even finish all the demos like that are out there.
yeah. Though I play a good chunk of them unless it's
Yeah,
like really bad and I'm like there was one game I launched instantly or I
yeah,
launched and then instantly turned it off.
yeah. Well,
Like
what was it? Why?
it was a I don't know if you ever heard of One Finger Death Punch, but it's one of those like stick figure fighting games.
Oh, yeah, yeah, I've heard of those.
It's
Yeah,
a
it's like
two
two
button
buttons.
game. Yeah, yeah. And there was a game that was just trying to do that but not doing it very well, and I turned it off instantly. I was like, these guys are like, they completely missed why that game was good and why this what they're doing with it is bad.
Yeah,
And you can instantly find because that game feels so good to play, the One Finger Death Punch, that You just know when you load something up that tries to do it and it does it wrong. You're like, this is bad. This is bad. Um, like Outcast, A New Beginning. I played that. Um, if you don't know that, that was that game. They claim that game, that series, is the original open world RPG. Like it was like the first open world RPG, and the new
Wait,
game
what?
that series is coming out.
What's the game called?
Outcast,
Oh,
A New
Outcast.
Beginning.
Yeah, I have heard of that game.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
that
played it.
game, like, yeah, I
Janky
heard
as
about that
fuck.
game. Yeah, the
But
original is
it's
like super
like,
janky too, apparently.
yeah, but it's indie. It's like an indie. You know, they call it. I would say it was like a double A game.
Yeah, I think
But
like THQ's publishing it, but they're not throwing like AAA money at it. It's a double A game for sure.
yeah, but it was like fun as shit though. It was fun however
Regardless of the
janky.
jank. Yeah.
Yeah,
I kind of like that when like back in the PS2 days, you saw that a lot when games are like really jank, but they were interesting.
yeah. Really, it's a throwback to that kind of era of shit. Like it feels like a
Yeah.
360 game almost, but with
Yeah.
like the loot uh stuff that you would get out of a modern game. Like you open up a chest and just shit flies out. Like shit is flying everywhere. You kill an enemy, just shit's flying out of it, and you're just absorbing it all. Like, oh yeah, sweet loot. Like it has that, and like that feels awesome.
Yeah.
Like the dopamine effect of that loot shit is like still good, but it just looks and feels like an Xbox 360 game, which I'm for. Like I'm not against that.
Yeah. I love that. I miss that that original like fifth and sixth generation jank, you know? I kind of miss that.
Yeah,
We also played Helldivers quite a bit. That's
we did.
goddamn, that game is incredible. That game's incredible, dude.
Um, yeah, Helldivers is a perfect example of why developers and publishers should just not try to focus on building the most expensive blockbuster biggest fucking game that they can build, because Helldivers is not the biggest blockbusterest most expensive fucking game that you could build, but it feels like one, and it's
It does.
people love it like one, you know. People have really
It's all
gravitated
over
towards
the
this
internet.
game, yeah. And I would love if this becomes like a new standard. Like just build a smaller game, but just make it fucking good, you know? Just make it
Yeah.
good. Helldivers is incredible. It's incredible.
It's good. It's incredible as a fantastic gameplay loop. Awesome
Yeah,
gameplay loop.
and they didn't have to change much. They didn't change almost anything from the original game except the perspective, really.
Yeah, it's the original game with a traditional third-person shooter perspective and a battle pass.
Yeah.
And like that's
okay,
it.
so you say battle pass, but I think people really have negative connotations in their brain about
Yeah, let
the
me
word
like
battle
elaborate. There's
pass.
like so it's got like a seasonal like objective. I don't know what the official term is. I'm just gonna say like a seasonal objective where, you know, here's a season of content. Playing the game gets you resource to invest in that content, and you can unlock it for your game. There's two. They call them war bonds. There's two of these war bonds. There's a standard one the game comes with that gets you some good shit, and there's the premium one which costs 1,000 super credits. Now, super credits is the premium currency. You can spend money to buy it. 1,000 super credits, like what, like $10?
I
But
haven't even looked at it.
but and here's the big thing: you can get super credits and play in the game. And like just the standard, the free war bond, you can get about like 700 super credits if you finish it through.
Yeah.
And you're probably like, well, you're 300 away from the premium one. Well, you can get super credits and play in the game. Like, if you explore the objectives and explore points of interest, you could find these caches that contain all kinds of different currencies, including the premium currency. Like I've gotten about 100 super credits, I think, from just doing that. Is it a lot? No, but that's just for the couple hours I've been playing. And again, if you run through that seasonal objective, you can get 700s from that. So it's possible to get that premium war bond without having to spend any money. Like it's totally possible. It's totally feasible.
Yeah. The other thing is everything in the battle passes, the war bonds, is all cosmetic.
Not all of it. There's weapons in there too.
Well, weapons, yeah, but they don't really give you. Yeah, there's weapons. There's weapons, and there's like boosters.
Yeah,
They can equip, but they're technically not just like an advantage. Like you get this and you're better. Like some of them,
yeah,
it goes up and down in terms of stats. You know,
yeah.
it's not like,
and you're always trading off something for it. There's not one that's like objectively better than like another. Like for example, in the free war bond, right? Like one of the weapons you can get. So you can only carry 3 weapons in the game. You know, your primary weapon, your sidearm, and a special weapon that you usually get from like playing through the game. You know, you get from like those come in drops that you pre-select or you pick up as you play through the game. And the primary weapon are things like long arms, like shotguns, assault rifles. In the free pass, in the free war bond, you can get, I've seen 1 semi-automatic rifle with a scope and a shotgun. Now you could argue like, you know, like, oh, you could argue it might be pay to win, but keep in mind that the weapon you start with is a pretty well-rounded assault rifle, like a fully automatic, well-rounded assault rifle. And by taking the shotgun, for example, you no longer have automatic fire, so that's already a disadvantage. If you get swarmed by a bunch of little enemies, that shotgun's not gonna do shit for you. And if you take the marksman, which is a semi-automatic rifle with a scope, it's meant for like long-range combat. It's going to be great for taking on those long-range enemies before they can get to you. But again, once you get swarmed, it's not going to do shit for you. So there's good and bad here. You're not like objectively like, oh, here's a weapon that's better than the one I already have in every possible way. It's not like that. Like there's trade-offs for everything you're doing. And I like that idea a lot. Like I would run around with the shotgun because it helps me take out like the bigger enemies when they get close to me. And for my sidearm, I had like a machine pistol that I'm constantly reloading because it's fully automatic. It's a small clip. So I don't have that same like consistency I have with the assault rifle, with the base assault rifle and base pistol. Like those are very well-rounded weapons that should get you through most situations. And you could trade that off for a more specialized weapon set, but there's going to be disadvantages with that you didn't have with the starter weapon set, which is fucking cool. And I love that about the game because you have to really take into account like, okay, I'm going to spend my resources to get this weapon, and then I got to take into account like the disadvantages the weapon's going to come with. And if that outweighs the advantages it comes with. It's really cool like that. It's not just straight pay to win. I'm going to drop all this money, max out that season pass, and have all the stuff from the get-go that's going to give me an advantage. Like, no. Like, they're very specialized, like, tool sets here that you need to consider. And I like that. I fucking love that. Like, the game's great.
Yeah,
the game
I'm surprised by how repetitive it is on paper, but when you're actually playing it, it just doesn't feel at all repetitive. You know what I mean?
Yeah, not at all. It's a good time, and a big part of it that like kind of fixes some of the repetitiveness that would be inherent to the game is just the situations you get into. Like,
Yeah.
there's only a set amount of objectives you can do, right? But the way those play out are going to be different every fucking time. Like, from the enemies that ambush you, from the placement of the enemies, from your situation when you get there. Like, that's all very different. And you could argue, like look at it this way. Like, if you had a game where the objective was like storm this hill, right? But sometimes that hill is going to have landmines. Sometimes that hill is going to have one enemy faction or a different type of enemy faction. Sometimes you might be low on ammo running that hill. Sometimes you might have more than ammo than you need running that hill. Like, that's what this game is times like 10. It's incredible. And the fact that it's multiplayer and the chaotic nature of the multiplayer too, because the game has friendly fire on by default. You can't turn it off. So that like really encourages like coordination and planning and really quick, rapid decision making from your team. That it's so much fun. You can play the same objective multiple times, but the way the game presents it to you and the factors at play when you get to the objective can change so much. It's a very dynamic experience that comes from it, even though like on paper you're playing the same objective over and over again.
Yeah, I feel like they put this game out before, because it is a live service game, definitely.
Mm-hmm.
And it's also a good example of how to do a live service game the right way. You know, it's fully, I wouldn't say it's fully featured, but they have a set of content here that will serve players for as long as they need it before they get some new content out. Like, there's definitely going to be more enemy factions. There's definitely going to be more everything, basically. But the base stuff that they have here would serve just, it's more than most games launch with, like in AAA, and it's super satisfying. And then on top of that, I just want to see where they take it from here, because they can go a lot of places, because there's only two enemy factions in the game right now, and I haven't even seen all of that content yet. Because it adds new enemy types in those factions the more difficult you get. Like, I saw some of those. We got into the challenging stuff, and there were like fucking invisible enemies and
that shit was insane, dude.
Hunters or whatever the fuck, so super shielded enemies. There's like a Terminator faction that has like tanks and rockets and shit, which is a fucking nightmare.
They're fucking rough. I played a couple automaton missions,
which we played those on medium difficulty, right? And there was a time where it was throwing like tanks at us. It was throwing mechs at us with like shoulder mounted rocket launchers. And I swear it gave us that like one time on medium, and then since then has never given us that hard.
What's cool with the game is that it has like a director like behind it, kind of like Left 4 Dead, where it determines like how you're doing and what your situation is, and it ramps up difficulty or enemy placement depending on that. Like, so it's a lot like Left 4 Dead in that aspect, where there's like a behind the scenes director.
It keeps it unpredictable in a way that is terrifying, because you don't know. Like, sometimes you jump in and it'd be easy as fuck. You're like, oh yeah, we're just wiping out these guys, fucking going through the map with surgical precision. There's like, or there's a breach here, there's a bug nest here, just take that out and take this out, and you can just do it real surgical. And other times you load in and it's like, oh fuck, oh shit,
it's like
you're
fucking
just dying.
Vietnam.
It's and it'll be the same fucking difficulty level, but vastly different.
Like a lot of times it can just be like that one enemy that just breaches your defenses at the wrong time. And it just throws everything into chaos. Like, it's crazy how the game plays out, and I love it for that, dude. I love it for that. It's a fun fucking game, and Oh god, I want to keep playing it. Somebody was telling me that they're playing on higher difficulties and the game could like get more unpredictable. Like the when you evac, there's a time limit. It gives you like 2 minutes, and the evac will get there, defend this position. Someone told me at higher difficulties, if you're doing super well, the game can delay that evac. So you'll get a random message like, "Oh, we hit a snag. We're gonna be there later. Evac time is extended by another minute, or something."
Shit.
Yeah, so I haven't seen that happen yet, but can you imagine that? Like you're on your last leg, you got barely enough ammo. Like, okay, we barely got enough. If we're careful to hold out for 2 minutes, then it's like, hey, it's gonna be another 2 minutes on top of that. Like, ooh, like that sounds crazy, dude. And the game does stuff like that. Like it throws enemies at you that are really difficult. It can throw situations at you that are very difficult to overcome, but it never feels like, at least to me, it hasn't felt unfair yet. Like I felt like we could, all these situations we can get through with the right coordination and the right use of our resources. We can get through a lot of these situations, and I like that. I love that in this game. It's just it's so much goddamn fun, dude. And I'm having a blast with it, dude. I can't wait to play it more. I want to play it right now. Like as we're talking about it.
Yeah, and it's $40. You can get it for 30 if you know where to look. And yeah, it's a good price for a good game.
Yeah.
And I got no more to say than that, man. Like if you've been hearing about this game, which is kind of unavoidable, you kind of just got to check it out. You got to check it out. I know they've been having like some server issues and connection issues. I have not run into any people were talking about like crashing and shit breaking and just a lot of issues people were having like straight out the gate with this game that I didn't run into anything. I don't know if you had any.
I had issues with random matchmaking, like trying to just join a random game. It was not doing it at all. It would like try and then it would tell me it failed, I have to try again. And there were a couple times I joined a random game, I would play for a little bit and the game would just like crash. And it would boot me back to
That's crazy.
Boot me back to my ship. It's happened a couple times and it wasn't super frequent, but again, I don't have a lot of time to play games because what's been going on with my kids, so I'm sure it's like it was more rampant for people who were playing it for like hours on end. But I did see like there were some server issues when I started playing. They're mostly ironed out now. I haven't had any issues like that when I was playing last night after you left. I was able to play with quite a few different teams, and the most annoying thing, the thing that drives me nuts about it though, and I don't think it's something you could fix, is if you join a random game and the host leaves, the whole squad gets disbanded instead of just assigning a new host.
Oh, that's fucked up.
It is fucked up. So like I'll play the game, I'm spending a good time with this team, and then the host like dips. 9 times out of 10 doesn't say anything. He just leaves, and it stops the game for all of us. I'm like, okay, I gotta find a new fucking squad now. Like that's super
I hate games
annoying.
like that. I thought we were past that stuff by now.
I thought we were too. We were too. So it annoyed the hell out of me when it happened. But
it's like that. Again, it's like that thing and the thing where games where only the host makes progress is fucked up. Not saying that this game doesn't do that, but if it did, I'd be like, fuck this.
Yeah.
But no, if the host leaves, that's fucked up.
Yeah. It's really frustrating. So like that's a really annoying thing about it. But the game's still fucking incredible. Like the game is still a fantastic, solid game that is definitely worth $40, man, is what they're asking for. $40.
Yeah.
Like that's nothing. Now that games are going for $70. It's like crazy. $80 to $100 if you want like the complete edition with all the extra content.
Plus like shitty battle passes in those games, like Diablo.
Plus shitty battle passes, yeah.
Like at least also in the battle pass in this game, it never expires. So even if you don't have time to do the whole thing before they add like another tier or whatever or update it, you don't lose whatever you've not completed yet.
But
Like, I
seriously, how
can't
do you know
fucking.
that?
They said that. They
So
go
the
out and
war
said,
bots just stick around? Like, that's
yeah,
cool.
if you don't finish it and they add like a new season, you can still do the old shit. It never goes
That's really
away.
cool. That's really
Yeah.
cool.
Whereas like in fucking Diablo, we were like, hey, fucking this shit's going away, and also you have to rebuy. You have to rebuy the premium shit every fucking season. So especially if you don't get to it, it's fucked up because you've now wasted what you paid for and you don't get any of it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's fucked up. It's fucked up. And it's
Yeah.
$70 game.
That's why I haven't bought any of the season passes for Diablo, because I know like I'm not gonna get to all that content, and I feel like I'm throwing away money if I'm paying $10 for it and I don't get all of it.
Yeah.
Like I know I'm not gonna get all of it. I'm either gonna get bored with it, I'm gonna take a break from it, or something's gonna come up in my life that I have to take a break from it, and I know I'm not gonna get to all of it. That's why I haven't dropped any money on it.
Yeah.
So with this, like, to be honest, I wasn't gonna spend any money on this one because it was the same thing, you know, the same idea. But now that I know it's not gonna expire, I kind of want to throw money at it just to like support the devs, because like that's such a cool, like, it's great when a game respects your time, man. Like,
Yeah.
it's good when games get like, hey, I know you're an adult, you're busy, you got shit to do. You can't invest all your time into just this, so let's make this like as easy for you as possible.
Yeah.
Not to say the game is perfect for that. Like some missions, if you want to like really do them, run for like 40 minutes at a time. So if
Yeah, it's a time investment.
that's why the only time I get to play it is with like at night when everyone's sleeping, because I can't. There's not a lot of time in the day where I can just have 40 uninterrupted minutes to do whatever. So, but you know, the fact that like the game's really good about like not letting these seasonal objectives expire, and you know, letting you get to it when you want to get to it, and that's really cool to me. I like that. I really like that. That's good. This game's good as shit. Just go get it. Everybody listening, go get it. It's fucking fun as hell. It's all over TikTok. Like, if you want to have an idea, like, just go on a TikTok, type in Helldivers 2, and just watch, like, a couple videos, and that'll sell you on it. That'll be enough to sell you on it. I've been playing that. I try to play Helldivers as much as I can. I'm still playing Bravely Default 2, because it's on Switch, so I can play that whenever I want. I don't have to, like, and I could start and stop whenever I want. You know, I don't have to worry about, like, having to invest everything into it. Still an incredible game. Like, I love this game, and the game gets even better at the end game, which I didn't think was possible. Like, what's cool with this game, dude? Okay, so I'm gonna run through how this game works. It's got a job system, so you can have multiple classes you can choose from. You can mix and match abilities from those classes. Every class has what's called passive abilities that you can unlock. Some have more than others. Some are more useful than others. But passive abilities do stuff. And you can equip that from job to job, which is super cool. So if you find a job that unlocks like during daytime, every turn it restores MP, increases your restoration power and critical hit chance and evade chance. If you unlock that for that job, you can select it for other jobs. Now the caveat is you can only have a set amount of these passives at a time. You only have about 6 points to put into passives, and some passives cost more than 1 point. So you have to really like mix and match what you want to do. When you beat the game, I say in quotes, and you get to the end game, you can unlock these challenges. They're boss missions that make you refight bosses you've already fought. And if you win these fights, those bosses, these are bosses you got your jobs from. It unlocks the next tier for your job, so you can unlock even more abilities for it, push the job even further, and those bosses have a chance to drop a job-specific weapon. And what that job-specific weapon does, it grants you all the passives for that job for free. That completely changes how your build works. And I went fucking crazy on that. I was like level 70 when I started it, and just replaying them over and over again to try to get all the job weapons I could for all the party members that benefit from them.
Do you have to use the weapon to get the?
You have to have the weapon equipped. You have to have the weapon equipped.
Okay, is it like
but it's relative to your job. So like, there's a job that specializes in spears. The weapon's a spear, for example. And some of the passives are things like mastership of that weapon. So like, the Brave Bearer job has one of its passives is you get mastership of swords, which is useless to the Brave Bearer. But again, if you have a job that doesn't really have any sort of abilities with swords, just being a master in it from that passive is worth it, right? So if you can equip a sword that makes you a sufficient in swords, on top of all the other bonuses it gives you, like there's some like, there's a lot of depth here for like fucking making these fucking crazy builds. Not all are created equal, which is very annoying. Like the monk doesn't have any job weapons, which makes sense. His passive ability is like hand-to-hand combat. So, but give him something like an armor piece or an accessory. Or something. Well, fist weapons don't exist in the game. That's why. But they could have given him like armor, you know, like a helmet or, you know, a robe or something, you know, or an accessory to equip that gives you the same thing. But I don't know. It's weird. Another one that's fucking annoying is the shield bearer. The shield master is one of my favorite jobs. And one of its passives is you could forego a main weapon and just equip an extra shield. So you can have 2 shields to really max out your defense. And his job is taking hits for the party. So it could be in your benefit to just scrap a weapon and just have him sit there and take hits for everybody all the time.
Assassin's Creed Valhalla type shit.
But his job weapon is a fucking axe. So already I can't use that passive. He has all these other passives I could use that are super cool, but I feel like I'm not really hitting his potential if I have 1 shield equipped. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Little things like that are like super annoying, but it's still really cool. And honestly, this is stuff that can be ironed out in a sequel. Like if they make a Bravely Default 3, keep this idea of these job weapons that give you all these passives, but maybe make them specific to the job, maybe make them accessories, not so much like weapons or something, you know. You know, there could be a lot of potential here to make this cool. And yeah, I'm having a lot of fun with it. I level 99 right now. I'm trying to max out some other things, do some side quests. I'm having a lot of fun with this game. It's a great RPG that a lot of people are gonna like. Also, all the Saints Row games are on sale on Xbox, so I bought them all. I got Saints Row Get Out of Hell, Saints Row 1 and 2. I haven't bought the Saints Row, the newest one, the reboot. But it's like $20 for like the complete edition with all the DLC, so I might pick it up just to have it, so I have all the Saints Row games on one machine.
Yeah. Well, the reboot was on Epic, right?
Yeah, I wasn't there for that. It was on Epic for free for a little bit, but I wasn't there for that. I didn't know about it till after they'd stopped that. So.
Yeah, I did the same thing. There was a Square Enix was having a Lunar New Year sale, and I literally bought every Final Fantasy game. So
yeah.
Bought every single one, but I saw Bravely Default on there, and I was like, I'll hold off on this.
It's good, dude. It's really good. It's a time investment. Like the game encourages a lot of like fucking playing with it. So like just the crazy shit you can do with these jobs, dude. The way the game works, you can have one job, right? You can have a sub job, and the sub job gives you that job's main ability. So if you have like a black mage, and then a white mage is a sub job, you can cast white magic, for example. But every job also has primary abilities that are special abilities that are exclusive to that job. So what job you have equipped is going to be a huge difference. So like the red mage, for example, he has 2 abilities. One is every single spell he casts, even ones that he doesn't know. So if you have a black mage equipped as a sub job, all those spells get affected too. Have a chance of causing a status ailment depending on the ability. So for example, like lightning magic can confuse or paralyze an enemy. So if you have your red mage as a main job, black mage as a sub job, not only do you expand your spell set, but you also expand the set of like status ailments you can do.
Yeah.
And the red mage has another job, or has another job ability called double cast that lets him cast each spell he does twice for free. So even though his stats are lower than the black mage, the fact that he's casting spells twice makes up for it. And by casting them twice, that's double the chance for these status effects to take effect. Like you could see how like fucking the potential there.
Yeah.
With how crazy this can get. And that works with any spell. So if you have like the Arcanist or the Oracle job, or not Oracle, some other job that have like these really powerful like end game magic, being able to cast that shit twice for free, insane. Like there's a lot of potential there. It's such a good fucking game, dude. It's a really good fucking game. And if you're the kind of person who likes like min-max stuff or like really customize your team, your loadout, and see just how crazy you can get, how much you can break this game, this is the game to play. Like it's gonna do some cool shit. Saints Row, all the Saints Row games are great. I got Get Out of Hell, Saints Row 1 and 2. Played a bit of Get Out of Hell, still fun. Played a bit of Saints Row 1, still fun. Despite the fact that it feels like a prototype of what Saints Row is gonna be, it's still a fun game. Like, I like them. But that's all I've been playing. Some gaming news. We got the PlayStation Plus games for February. So if you have PS Plus Extra or Premium, you can get Need for Speed Unbound for PS5. Outer World Spacer's Choice Edition for PS5. Tales of Arise for PS4 and PS5. Assassin's Creed Valhalla, PS4 and PS5. Lego Worlds, Lego Jurassic World for PS4. And Rogue Book for PS4, PS5. Rogue Lores for PS4. And Tales of Asteria for PS4. If you're in... Yeah,
Tales
good games in there. A lot of Tales games. Even in PlayStation Premium, you got Resistance Retribution, the PSP Resistance game. You can play that on PS4 and PS5.
So the thing about this is they've enhanced it.
Oh, yeah?
They've up-rendered it. They added rewind, quick save, and custom video filters.
That's really cool. Okay, I like that.
Which is crazy because I didn't think they were doing anything to these fucking PSP games.
I didn't either. They're just porting it straight over. But that's cool to see that they have some like options there. Yeah, that's really cool.
Especially rewind. You just don't see that.
Yeah.
Like save states and shit. It's crazy.
Yeah. That is really cool to see. So now, like, because the argument is, well, just emulate it, because by emulating you have all these like options. Well, now that PlayStation's bringing it over, like, you know, it's making their subscription more worth it.
Yeah,
I still won't subscribe to it yet.
The only other thing that they should add to these are trophies.
Yeah, I agree.
And I think that'd be like the icing on the cake.
Yeah,
if they haven't already, but I don't know.
Yeah, I agree. In their premium classics game, we also have Tales of Symphonia for PS4 and PS5, and Tales of Vesperia for PS4 and PS5. A lot of Tales of games.
I don't know how those are classics, but I mean, I consider them classics, but not in the way that they're using them.
Yeah.
Because technically, these are PS4 games.
Yeah, these are PS4 games. Yeah, they're older games, but they got a remaster, and that's the version we're getting on this, is the remaster. Like, we're not getting the original, like, GameCube copy of Tales of Symphonia ported over. Like, this is the remaster.
Yeah.
So it's weird to me to consider it a classic, but whatever.
Symphonia is great. If you've not played that, you got to play it.
Yeah.
It's fucking great. Still the best one.
And then quickies. Xbox is doing a conference today, so we can check that out later once that drops.
Yeah. They are revealing the... so, I don't know if I want to get into the history of the past week that triggered this. But basically, it started with Hi-Fi Rush. People data mine a Hi-Fi Rush update and found that there's textures in there for some shirts that are making direct references to PlayStation and Nintendo and Epic Game Store.
Yeah.
So people are like, holy shit, Hi-Fi
going
Rush is going to be
multi-platform.
coming to, it's going multi-platform. And then that exploded into fucking everyone's wildest imaginations of, oh shit, fucking Sea of Thieves is going to PlayStation, and oh, Halo's going to PlayStation, and Gears of War is going to PlayStation, and the Xbox is dropping out of the console space.
Which
Wild
is
shit.
insane to me to
And
imagine
then
that. Like,
also everyone reporting these things as if it's true. There's
Yeah.
no one's everyone has sources, but no one wants to say actually what the fucking sources are. So
yeah, and I'm sure like the Xbox has had a bunch of layoffs a little while ago too, so I'm sure that's like not helping either.
yeah,
But
yeah. So I think they were planning on doing like an actual announcement, but now um they've had to push it forward and actually just come out and fucking say some shit. So Phil Spencer's like on Twitter, like, we hear you.
yeah,
We're gonna talk about this
I
on
just want to point out really quick because I'm an immature like baby, but the
yeah.
post on Twitter, so here from Phil Spencer, Sarah Bond, and Matt Booty. That guy's name is Matt Booty. That's a very either unfortunate or fortunate name, depending on who you ask. But that's a fucking funny name, Matt Booty,
Yeah.
Mr. Booty. People call him Mr. Booty.
Mr. Booty.
I'd love to go by Mr. Booty. Like, so that's someone's gonna make that a their Xbox Live tag. Watch Mr. Booty.
But they came out and was like, hey, we're gonna share updates on the Xbox business, a business update,
Yeah,
which is an interesting way to put it, like a business update. But um the real story is no one knows what the fuck they're gonna announce here, okay? Aside from, I think the most credible thing is Sea of Thieves, or not Sea of Thieves, but Hi-Fi Rush is definitely getting ported to other consoles. I think that is the most conclusive thing we have right now. Everything else is just pure speculation. Um,
yeah,
I think the people going, oh, they're gonna end the Xbox, they're dropping out of their next Dreamcast, they're dropping out of the console space, is just insane. That's
yeah. I
insanity.
agree. I agree.
And then there's the other side of the Xbox fans freaking the fuck out, like, oh, you can't, betrayal, you've betrayed us, which is just insane, which is
Yeah,
insanity.
it is insane. Like especially since like Xbox hasn't had console exclusives for a while. Like all of their games have released on PC day one. Like the only Xbox exclusives they have are like third-party games or games that were developed before they did this like all-inclusive PC thing.
Yeah, but
So
even if they did put all their games on PS5 and or Switch day one, you're not losing anything. You still get those games, and especially you get it with Game Pass still. It's not like, because I would imagine they'll put Halo on another console and then it'll be $70 over there. But if you have Xbox console, you'll just be able to get it through Game Pass.
yeah, through Game
if you
Pass
want.
or the discounted price
Or
because
discounted.
it's yeah, which is like the people complaining about it are people who like want to have something to like hold over the competition. Like that's what it is. It's like, oh, you got Last of Us, we have Halo, we got Gears of War, we got this and that.
Yeah.
That's all it is. Now they can't say that anymore. Like,
But I just don't. Now look, I don't have a horse in this race. I'm no longer a console guy. I used to be a console guy,
yeah,
but I'm not a console guy anymore.
yeah.
So
Most of my gaming is done on PC. I have an Xbox, but that's only because of Game Pass. Like, I was already paying for Game Pass on PC, so I'm like, I might as well just pay a little extra, get the Xbox Game Pass, and just have all these games on Xbox too. On top of like all the other like Xbox exclusives that didn't make their way to PC, all these old 360 games. Because let's be honest, like you can argue how great these new PS5 games are, but Xbox is the only console out there that's actually trying to do some sort of game preservation and hold all these old games up, where
Not even
PlayStation and Nintendo are quick to just dismiss them.
not even just preservation, but also they're just thinking ahead. I feel like PlayStation might be doing better numbers right now, in one very specific area. But I feel like Microsoft has kind of, it has more broad. Their tendrils are kind of spreading out in different sections where
Mm-hmm.
PlayStation hasn't even fucking thought about, like the cloud stuff. They already have a huge head start in the cloud shit.
Oh yeah.
I feel like when it comes down to it in the future, they're just gonna destroy. They're gonna kill any competition in that area in the future when it comes down to it, because you don't think about it if you're not in that, if you don't care about it, right? Like me and you aren't really big on cloud gaming and shit, but I heard when Power World hit Game Pass, it's on the cloud. You can play that game on the cloud,
Oh
and
yeah.
there's like queues and shit. Like people have like, there's like waiting times. Like that's how hard they're getting slammed with their cloud shit. Like people are actually using that shit.
Yeah, because it's not like what Microsoft is doing that's so great is they're not having the cloud as a separate service. It's included with Game Pass.
Yeah.
If you have Game Pass, you have cloud, which is great because now I've tried the cloud out. It's the only actual cloud gaming I've tried out because it was included with my subscription. So I was like, fuck it, let's give it a try, see how this works. And I was surprised at how well it worked. I was able to play on my lunch break when I was still playing Fable 3. I was able to play Fable 3 on my lunch break, buy up some property, do some side quests and stuff on my lunch break. And it played pretty comfortably. And I went from like not caring at all about cloud to like, okay, let's see where this goes now, you know? And because I'm not paying extra for it, it's in my subscription, because I'm not like, I didn't have to make that choice, like to jump into cloud gaming. You know what I mean? Like I'd have to sit there at a Best Buy and be like, okay, am I going to buy a Luna or a, what was the other big one?
Stadia.
The Stadia. You know, am I going to buy a Luna or a Stadia and like just dive headfirst into this, pay $60 for a cloud-based game? No, I was in my subscription that I'm paying for a game I'm already playing on my console. And it's like, okay, let's pick up my progress on the cloud then and see what this looks like. And it felt fine. And that's what Microsoft's been doing super, super well, because they start out with these really enticing deals to get your foot in the door. And then once because they know like the sell, cloud gaming is a hard sell on its own, right? Asking someone to pay money upfront for cloud gaming is a hard sell. But including in your subscription and just saying, hey, just try it, it's there. Yeah. Much easier to adopt. And it's going to be a lot easier for people to like adopt cloud gaming now, because like that hurdle's gone.
And so when they put any of their games, if they put on another platform, here's the genius move of that, is because it gets people into the Xbox ecosystem, without having to own an Xbox. If you download Hi-Fi Rush on your PS5, right? Yeah. And then it has some sort of feature where you can log into your Xbox account and integrate that on other platforms with your account. Say, okay, now I've logged in on my PS5, but now I'm on like my Xbox account, so I'm getting my Xbox achievements, I'm pulling in my Xbox friends list, I'm maybe if they go this far, maybe you can get some sort of entitlement to, like, if you buy it on one platform, you get it on every platform that it's on. That'd be crazy. But
Yeah.
I they could do something like that. Something that they put their shit on every platform, but they can use it as a way to bring people into, because one of the problems is if you buy a they've been set that has been set up since the previous generation, like PS4 at the latest, is that if you were a PS4 guy and you've lasted that whole generation as like a PS4 guy, it makes it harder to jump to like an Xbox, or even if you were an Xbox One guy, it makes it harder to jump to the other platform because you've built up this library, you've built up this thing that now you carry over into the next generation.
Yeah.
So it makes it harder for people to cross over, even if you kind of wanted to, which I think is the bigger problem. So if Xbox can get in on, like, okay, if you own a PS5, we'll just buy this Xbox game on your PS5 and somehow it'll integrate, just tie your account together and you just get it. It's on your account. That would be legendary, because then it'd be easier for the next generation that, oh, I bought all these Xbox games on my PS5 and it carries over into my Xbox 2027. That's crazy. And then it just makes it easier to make that jump. I think if anyone wants to win the next generation, you have to like start sowing your seeds now. Yeah. And I think this is a great way for Xbox to do that. Just put your shit on other platforms and have it integrate. That way your next shit, the future shit, you'll already be set up, because everyone's just they're just in it already, without them even knowing.
Yeah, I agree, and that's what Microsoft's really good at, is like sowing those seeds. They're good at, you know, making moves that pay off in the long run. Like, it worked for me, like, because when they brought Game Pass to PC, you know, like, I was like, okay, it looks cool, but I'm kind of debating on it, and I was a little back and forth on it a lot, and you were telling me to get into it. And then, well, here's how it started. It started out with them putting their games on Steam, you know, with the Master Chief Collection coming to Steam is how it started for me. And I was like, okay, cool. And I went and bought it. And then you were like, oh, that was crazy. You should just get Game Pass. You'll have it. And I was like, no, but I want to like own it. I don't want to like start a subscription. And then Microsoft was like, okay, we're going to make Game Pass $1 just to try it. And then that got my foot in the door. And I tried it. And I was like, okay, this is cool. And then after the $1 offer ran up, I was like, okay, let's keep the subscription. And that evolved into, well, now that I have the choice, let's get an Xbox. I already have this Game Pass. And that's how it happened to me. I got an Xbox Series X of a PS5 because of this.
Yeah, and I didn't even realize, but I bought Psychonauts 2 on Steam, and it does the thing that I was just talking about. You can log into your Xbox account on Steam and get Xbox achievements playing the Steam version of that game.
Yeah, it does the same thing with Halo. Yeah.
So they already do that. So I wonder if they're gonna if they would do that on the other consoles.
In fact, the Master Chief Collection. So my dad had an Xbox, and I played the Master Chief Collection on his Xbox for a little bit. And I had logged into my Microsoft account, right? Played Halo on his Xbox, got achievements. When I booted up Master Chief Collection on Steam, those achievements were still there. That progress I made was still there, which surprised the hell out of me.
That's awesome.
Yeah, and then again, I carry that over to my Xbox Series X. It's still there. Like, that's crazy.
Yeah, that's I feel crazy. Like Xbox has a lot of cool ideas when it comes to. They have a lot of cool ideas for integration, but the execution isn't always there. Yeah, and I just feel like if they just execute, they would really have something, because they also have like mobile shit. They're doing mobile shit.
Yeah,
and again, they're ahead of the curve on that. because now you see like Apple getting into mobile shit. Like Apple is more ahead of PlayStation in terms of like mobile gaming, because you have these full fat games on like iPhone and iPad and shit.
Yeah.
Where you've got like Resident Evil 4 is on there, and
Resident Evil
Death
Village is
Stranding.
on there. Death Stranding. Yeah.
And
That's
all of
crazy.
that just integrates into like all of their like iPhone, iPad, Mac. It's just there. And Sony has nothing for that, but at least Xbox has. They don't have much there, but they at least have studios. They have mobile studios from the Activision Blizzard buyout. They have King out of that, and King is a huge, probably the biggest mobile developer on the planet right now. So they have the foundation for doing something insane.
Yeah. Yeah, they have all their stuff spread out, which is going to pay off in the long run. We'll see how this works in a business standpoint.
Yeah.
This Xbox presentation is going to be in like 3 hours?
Yeah, it's going to
2
be
hours?
a while from now, so we will not be live.
Yeah, 12 Pacific time. So yeah, that's like 3 hours.
But this is the kind of stuff that I just want them to announce that they're doing. Like all of these popular devices like the Steam Deck and the ROG Ally are terrible to use on Windows, because Windows isn't built to be like an OS for just straight up gaming, you know?
Yeah.
So I want them to lean into like, okay, we're updating Windows to just be a fucking Xbox platform, and then it's just you can just boot into the gaming centric OS and just use a controller to navigate everything. And like that would be fucking awesome if they did that.
That would be awesome. Yeah.
But Windows is terrible to use. It's worse to use.
Yeah.
Like if you want to install Windows on your Steam Deck, you can do that, but the experience is significantly worse. But they can capitalize off of that and just make like Windows Xbox OS or something like that. This is the kind of stuff I want them to announce, because it would be way more awesome than the Xbox console, I think.
Yeah, I agree.
For them to spread out like this, but that's why I was hoping when they're doing an announcement like this, you hope that it's more than just, hey, we're bringing Hi-Fi Rush to PS5. Thank you. See you later. You know, it's got to be more than that, because they're announcing this as if it is more than that. Though they're doing it in a podcast, which hopefully it's just a more casual thing. They can kind of just sit back and chat. But I'm just hoping they have more planned. I'm hoping to have more planned. Is all I'm saying. Yeah, people are freaking out about this, especially the Xbox fans. I mean, both sides. PlayStation guys are like, yeah, we killed the Xbox. I was like, okay.
Yeah, but we'll see what happens with this announcement then. We got some new trailers too. East Nordics got a trailer for Switch, PS4, PS5, and PC. That's dropping fall 2024. The East games are something different, man. Like the East games are what I want the Tales of games to be.
Yeah,
if that makes sense.
Yeah, kind of.
Like it leans more on the action side than the RPG side. I feel like the RPG stuff is holding back Tales of a little bit.
Yeah, when I played Tales of Arise, I enjoyed it, but it just seemed like it was still stuck in the past a little bit.
Yeah, and watching you play, it seemed the same thing. Like, you know, battles take you to a separate screen. You have a victory screen after it's over, which is like, I get it. That's how it's built. But if you look at a game like East, where no, the battles happen like on the map.
I mean, not only that, but like this game specifically, they're doing like pirate ship combat, it looks like.
Yeah.
And like they're doing a lot of, it's almost like an Assassin's Creed JRPG.
Yeah, it's crazy, the shit that's in here. And it still has like skill trees and abilities and RPG stuff. Like, there's some cool shit in here that I really like. And, you know, I played East, what is it? Lacrimosa, I think is what it's called. Lacrimosa Dana, which was fun as hell. Like I was playing through that, I was like, this is so much fun. It's really frantic and like reactive. I really liked where I was playing, and yeah, I was into it. I was super into it. Um, so I'm getting excited for what this looks like. Ultros is another one that looks really cool. We talked about this game a little bit. It's like,
Oh, yeah. So I played
it's
this
acid
in
trip.
I played this in a demo derby, and dude, this game is incredible.
Yeah, it looks like, oh god, it looks like the art style from Severed, that one drink box game.
Yeah.
Yeah, it looks like Severed mixed with Hollow Knight on acid,
Yeah, I wanted
which
to
I'm cool
wait.
with.
I wanted to wait to play more of this when I had
Yeah.
some more drugs, and I could do the drugs and then play this game, because that's. But it's doing interesting stuff. I don't know if you ever played Odin Sphere or any of those Vanillaware
Yeah.
games that
Yeah, I
have
played
like
Odin
food
Sphere. I
in them.
played Dragon's Crown. Yeah.
Like Odin Sphere specifically, I remember had the level, the experience system was you eat food and you get like experience. This game
Yeah.
does that.
Yeah.
And it does the Red Dead Redemption thing of if you kill an enemy, the better and faster you kill it, it drops better quality food.
Oh, I
So
like that.
if you perfect dodge and parry it without taking any damage, it drops perfect quality food. But if you take a lot of damage while you're killing it and you don't like do like good combos, it'll drop worse quality food. And you eat the food and your stats increase, and that's how you level up. And it's really cool.
I like that. I like that a lot. Okay,
Yeah,
that's good. It's on my list now. I'm gonna pick it up.
yeah.
We got some game releases. So coming out today, February 15th, we got Gunvolt Records of Chronicle.
This is
It's
a
a rhythm
rhythm
game.
game. Yeah,
Yeah,
almost like the Persona dancing all night.
yeah. We got that. We got Played Up. We got Spirit Hunter Death Mark 2 and The World According to Girl. Wait, that sounds weird. Yeah, The World According to Girl. That's a interesting name, but okay. It's a deck building roguelike caring game.
I don't
Okay.
know. What the
February
fuck is a
16th.
what is a carrying game?
I don't know. Deck building roguelike caring game in a collapsed world. A plan to raise a young girl into a savior begins in order to find the only salvation. You become an administrator to raise a girl to become a savior and raise her by selecting human resources cards with various effects. Okay. Interesting. Not my cup of tea at all, but it's
Yeah.
interesting.
Okay.
We got Legends of Heroes, Trails of Cold Steel 3 and 4, both releasing on PS5 February 16th. Mario vs. Donkey Kong is dropping Nintendo Switch February 16th. I forgot that was coming out.
I want to check this out. Looks
Yeah, Mario
cool.
vs. Donkey Kong's fun. Like, I played the GBA game. That game's fun as hell. And this is the remake of that, so I'm into it.
I know it had did it have like e-reader levels on the GBA?
I think so. I never played it on original hardware. I played it on 3DS when they had that
Oh.
ambassador program. Yeah, that looks cool. Light is dropping on Steam February 16th. It's an adventure game. Pixel graphic adventure game. Skull and Bones is finally coming out for PC, PS5, and
Crazy.
Xbox Series X February 16th. I know. I remember this got announced, and now it's happening. So
I did play I played one of the early shits of this game,
yeah,
and was not, it turned me off. You know, sometimes like a demo comes out and you're like, hey, play our demo, and like the demo turns you off of the game.
yeah.
Like how fuck, what was that like Sega game that came out and ruined the Knights game? Fuck, I forgot what it's called. But
Oh yeah, Balan Wonderworld.
Balan Wonderworld, yeah. That game came out and the demo came out and people were like, dude, this is fucking terrible.
Yeah, I remember people were excited for it because like, oh, here's like an old school like Sega platformer,
Yeah,
like
from the
Billy
guy that made
Hatcher.
Knights. Yeah, and
Yeah. And
and
then like people were excited for it, and then they played it, and they're like, "Oh, this is dog shit."
yeah, that's Skull and Bones.
That's
It
a
is not
bummer.
at all what they present it to be, uh, and it's a bummer because you want a pirate game, you realize, oh, this is not. This is a fucking like an MMO, but not
That's
really.
a bummer. That's a bummer. I'll look into it when it comes out, see what the reviews say, but I'm probably not gonna like it.
Yeah.
February 20th, we got the Lost Legends of Redwall, the Scout Anthology, releasing on everything. We also got Irem Collection Volume 2, also releasing on everything. So if you want to play some Irem games, Gunforce Tool, Gunforce 2, Air Duel. I don't know
Yeah, I
any
don't
of these
know.
games.
I don't know
I don't know
any of
any of these
these.
games. Look like side-scrolling shooters.
It look like Metal Slug.
Yeah, like Contra. Okay, looks interesting. Wednesday, February 21st, we got Bandit Tale, a League of Legends story releasing. Bandle Tale, my bad. A lot of these like League of Legends games coming out.
I like how different they all are.
Yeah, they're all very different games. I'm into that. I'm still waiting for Arcane Season 2 to come out. Like, that's. Arcane's so good. Did you watch Arcane yet? I know you bought it. Did you watch it yet?
I saw the first episode. I have it on like
That's so
Blu-ray or
good.
something.
It's
Yeah.
so good, dude. It's so good, dude. It's incredible. Like, I didn't care for League of Legends or any of the lore until I watched that show. And I realized, like, oh, I don't hate League of Legends. I just hate getting called the N word.
Yeah, everyone does.
Yeah. There you go. Well, am I wrong? Like, granted, like, you know, the studio, what is it? Riot is doing a lot to like curb some of the toxicity, but it's still like, it's
It's
not
not so
great.
much that. It's just going into a game that's very well established already as a new player
That too, yeah.
and just not really because the problem is there's a shitload of heroes. Like if you didn't get in on the ground floor, it's the same problem that Overwatch kind of has now, where because I've been playing Overwatch since launch, but I've not been playing it for a while. So all the updates that they've been making to the heroes that I know and all the new heroes that they've added, I feel like it's a completely different. Like I feel like I don't know what the fuck I'm doing anymore. Uh, and that's like the problem
Yeah.
that a new player would have is there's just so much choice and you really don't have the only way to kind of get it. Granted, you can do bot matches and kind of figure shit out that way, but I feel like you kind of just have to dedicate yourself to doing it, and it's just you
Yeah.
just bounce right off if it doesn't hit immediately.
Yeah. Oh yeah. So if you're interested in the world, just like watch Arcane. That's what I'm gonna do. And I'm gonna play the League of Legends fighting game when that comes out.
Oh yeah,
That looks cool. We also got Last Epoch coming
dude,
out.
fuck
You
yeah.
said this is good, right? Like you like this game?
You are never gonna see me again once this game
Yeah.
launches officially. I've
Ooh,
been
can't
playing.
wait.
Yeah, it's
Looks
just
good.
it's good, man. It's fucking good. It's the perfect
There's
middle
like
ground between like if you think Diablo has not been hitting, but Path of Exile is too much. The Last Epoch is just the perfect middle
yeah.
ground.
I
Yeah,
might look into it. There's like 3 editions. There's the standard, the deluxe, the ultimate,
I
all
think it just
very
comes
different
with.
price.
I'm not sure what I think it just comes with like there's like cosmetic shits. I think it
Yeah, it's
just
like
comes with.
soundtracks and these epoch points. Is there like a fucking annoying currency system in this?
No, no, no. It's just it's not a full price game. It's like $30. So they have a cosmetic shop. I
Okay.
think that's all it is. Just pure
Okay.
cosmetic.
I'll wait
No,
till the reviews come out and I'll pick it up on Green Man if it's like cheaper or something.
there's already reviews. People have been playing this for years.
Yeah, it's good.
Yeah.
That's good. I'll check it out then. Slave Zero X is also releasing on February 21st for everything. This looks crazy. It's like a side-scrolling beat 'em up.
They mentioned in the description, they mention Devil May Cry, Strider, and Guilty Gear.
Yeah, I'm into all of those things. I could see the influence there. This looks cool as hell. I didn't realize
this was 3D. It looks in the screenshots. It's like it's 3D, but like made to look 2D. Like it's all modeled, but
is it modeled?
Yeah.
I know the backgrounds are like models, but the characters are modeled. Look at that. Yeah. No, those are sprites. No, those are models.
It's hard to tell, but
I can't tell. Some enemies look like models, but I think the characters are sprites. I think.
What the fuck? Is this a fighting game or a beat 'em up?
It looks like a beat 'em up.
It does, but then it looks like a fighting game.
Okay, I don't know where you've seen the fighting game stuff.
In the trailer, it looks like sometimes like it goes into like a one-on-one situations.
Maybe that's like the boss fights. Master a brawler with the depth of a fighting game. I'm in. I am in. I'm fucking sold. I am sold on this. Because I like fighting games, but like I don't have a lot of people to play fighting games with. So that's why I like beat 'em ups that have like some of the. I want a beat 'em up that has that complexity, so I can like really get into it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And this looks like it's doing that.
I feel like a lot of the time they don't land it though. There's a lot of games that do that, and they're like either really good beat 'em ups or either really good fighting game. Like Grand Blue does that, and I feel like it just doesn't. For me, it doesn't hit with Grand Blue. The story mode. I mean, like it's a great idea, but it just doesn't really satisfy on either front in the story mode part.
Yeah.
So I hope this
looks like it might do it though. Yeah,
it looks like it might do it.
It's coming out February 21st. I'll check it out. It's coming out on everything. I might just pick it up on Steam.
Yeah.
Or Switch. It's gonna be on Switch too. I'm gonna pick it up on Switch. Dope. And then last but not least, Terminator Dark Fate Defiance. What the hell is this? It's an RTS? I didn't know this was happening.
I'm out.
A Terminator RTS. I've never seen that before. Looks cool. I'm not an RTS fan, but it's a cool idea.
Yeah, it's a neat idea. Yeah, you realize how many people are on PC, how many RTS fans there are when the next fest comes around and all the top games are fucking RTS games. I'm like, dude, there's like RTS city builders and then like extraction shooters.
Well, those first two RTS city builders, those are like the premier PC genres. Like those are.
Yeah, but PC has like broadened so much that
I agree.
I thought it would have like kind of gotten drowned out at this point.
Yeah, I agree. PC gaming is like whole other like level now. Like
and then like there's ex StarCraft devs who broke out off of Blizzard and are making a new StarCraft called Stormgate. I took a look at that. I took a look at that during it's literally StarCraft.
Yeah.
But like with I got hero shooter shit in it. There's heroes. I don't know if StarCraft
I wonder how like RTS fans are gonna feel about that.
People seem to enjoy it. I was like, this is StarCraft, and I'm bad at StarCraft. The only StarCraft I've ever played is StarCraft 64, which is, pinnacle StarCraft. So, yeah.
I played like Halo Wars on 360, but that's about it.
Yeah. Yeah, that was like super console-ified. People seem to like Halo Wars. Maybe Halo Wars 2. People seem to like those games.
Yeah, people like them, but I didn't. I'm also not like an RTS fan. Like,
yeah, not at all.
Not at all. But this looks cool. I'm not gonna play it, but it looks cool. I wish I liked RTS games. I really do. I feel like
there's a few that hit for me, but I just never.
There's none that hit for me.
There's one called Divinity Dragon Commander, which is kind of like it's like a pseudo RTS. Like you command a dragon literally. So it's an RTS until you bring the dragon in, and then you just have literal control over a fucking dragon. You can just fly around and just blow shit up as a dragon, which is awesome. So that, and then it turns into like a dating sim.
Oh
So,
wow, that's okay.
So check that game. It's a Divinity game, so it's by those Divinity guys that brought you fucking. I think the Baldur's Gate guys made that. So it's like
I'll
it's
check
one
it
of
out
those
then.
games. Larian,
All right,
yeah,
that's gonna do it for the show, everybody. Thank you, everybody, for coming in and listening. Not a lot happened. We'll talk more about the Xbox presentation next week,
yeah,
or maybe later tonight if you're gonna be on Helldivers tonight. But yeah, we'll see.
yeah. So go to Gameoverse.com and Gameoverse.com/Twitch and Gameoverse.com/YouTube and Gameoverse.com/Discord and hop in there and chat with us, play Helldivers with us.
Yes, please play Helldivers with us. I'm having so much fun with it.
And if you're not playing Helldivers, tell us what you are playing.
Yeah.
We'd love to know if you're one of those guys that are into those games like fucking Rune Factory and Neptunia. We would love to hear from you because that's a blind spot for us.
Yeah, it's a huge blind spot. It's a very popular game that we always talk about at least a little bit on every other episode. We have nothing to talk about it. Like we have no experience with it.
Yeah. So.
All right. Peace out, everyone. Yeah, peace out. Be safe. Be excellent to each other. And we'll see y'all next time. Bye.